excuse the mess. We're going to be talking about the Canon Canonet QL17, the G3. This is the third iteration of the Canonet. The first Canonet is a lot larger, and it had the film advance lever was on the bottom as opposed to the top. The second one had a top advance lever, and I believe it also had a cell right there and ran off battery. The first one had the selenium battery-free light meter system. So I believe all three of them, if not the second and the third one here, have the QL, which stands for quick loading. You can see that when you open up the back. There's this little arm here, and basically the idea, as shown in this picture here, is that you just put the film over, close it, and that should load it immediately. Launch it onto the sprocket there, and you're good to go. Personally, I don't like this system too much. I've found that I've shot a few blank rolls because of it, but it was kind of popular, and it was a thing for the time, so whatever. So anyway, that is the G3 and the QL. Let's go over some of the basic operating principles here. You have on the lens all of your controls. On the top ring here, this is your shutter speeds. So you got anywhere from 1/4 of a second to 1/500th of a second. And then there's also the bulb feature. But when you get it to 4 here, you have to push in this little tab in order to slide it over to bulb. It's a little thing to keep note of, and then push it over to slide it back. I find that kind of interesting. Underneath that you have your ASA wheel, if that will focus, and that is controlled. You can adjust that by this little notch there. There is a little window here, so gunk has collected in there over time, but it goes all the way down to 25. So 800 to 25, pretty good ASA range. And then underneath that, you have your aperture. So anywhere from auto to 16. Now, if I'm just going out and shooting, not really too concerned about what I'm doing, I usually have it set on 30 and auto and just let it rip there, but you can adjust it as needed. It's a very smooth slide over. And then next to that, you have your self timer right there. Wind, bring it up, and then fire, and it'll shoot. So, and then next you have this little deal here. It's the focusing unit. You can see it moves the lens a little bit, but nothing too significant. But there's a little notch here, so you can tell what distance you're focusing to. So that's kind of helpful. I really enjoy this little tab design. The idea being you hold it like this. It's just a simple slide with one of your fingers. As with all the Canonets, it has this really interesting viewfinder system. I like the design of this and how it works with the logo. This obviously being like the little focusing window there. So simply look through there, focus to line up the yellow square with whatever it is you're shooting. Also on this, you have this little check light. So if you press this, it will tell you if the battery works or not. I think that's a really interesting little feature. The battery, of course, is loaded in the bottom. 625A batteries. And then it's shaped perfectly, so it'll just slide right in, no guesswork involved. And then that slides in like that, easy peasy. There's also a flash sync cord right there, a hot shoe as well. I believe that the flash sync is at 30, which is why there's the mark there. The film counter is right there by the lever, which is going to be kind of hard to see. Anyway, it's right there, so that's very convenient. The lens has, I believe, 5 elements that sit in there. You can see that there's the aperture blades right there, and as I move those, aperture blades right there, and then that itself is the shutter. So when you open up the back, there's no curtain or anything like that. It's a leaf shutter So easy enough there. In the viewfinder, registers all of the apertures. Set it to auto, and then it will register what aperture. Right there, a little screw mount so you can screw in your cable, and then it has the bulb so you can do like long exposure stuff. Canonet QL17, quick rundown on how to use it. Hope you enjoyed it.